Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about the outrage in Tennessee. All right. So recall that recently in Tennessee, there was another gory, revolting, outrageous uh, gun violence episode in which I think 3 9-year-olds were shot. And Tennessee is a deeply red state and deeply pro gun. However, a demonstration at the Tennessee legislature, and 3 legislators joined the demonstration. And for their sins, the legislature, which is a supermajority Republican, held votes on whether to, with no real preamble or anything, on whether to expel them, and voted to expel 2 of them and 1 narrowly not to expel. And the 2 that were expelled were, in fact, the 2 young African-American legislators, Justin Pearson and Justin Jones, and Gloria Johnson, the third, narrowly escaped being expelled. Okay, let's start here. These guys have a super majority. They can do whatever the hell they want. Why would they even go to the trouble of expulsion? It just seems like part of the overall pattern in the country of government by spite and tantrum, and the antithesis of what you think legislators are supposed to do. But the whole thing stinks to high heaven, and it's really about the most vivid moment I recall, certainly the visuals of them, since, of Southern obstructionism since the 60s, which is going to be relevant, as I'll explain in a moment. But anyway, we had all yesterday a total tumult and uprest and demonstrations as the Republicans mowed down these 2, and as demonstrations continued. So they say, the Republicans, the reason we did it is they violated the legislature rules. That's why we had to expel these 2 people. Of course, the 2 African Americans, and nobody thinks that's coincidental. It's just, that's what really looks like, rabble rousing to them. And we had to expel them because they didn't follow completely the legislative rules. Not the legal term for that is a crock of shit. They've never expelled anyone in Tennessee for anything like this. A few times they have expelled people for example, 20 counts of sexual assault or taking bribes or whatever. It's happened 4 or 5 times. But here, for this, everybody understands, I think. And this is going to, I think, proceed to litigation. The Tennessee legislature could well lose, but everybody understands this was because of their position on gun control, and B, the nerve and effrontery of actually joining the demonstration. Besides, the point 1 is, why do they do it? They're a super majority, are the Republicans in Tennessee. They can do their will, whatever they want to do. And it just seems like part of the overall pattern of government by spite and tantrum, and really being able to stick it to your enemies, that are the continuing legacy of the Trump years. But it's just deeply, deeply dishonest. It also, I think, is deeply unlawful. There is a Supreme Court case. This happened in 1965. Julian Bond was voted into the legislature, and they refused to seat him for his grave sin of expressing opposition to the Vietnam War. And the Supreme Court held 9-0 that this had violated Bond's First Amendment rights and his voters' rights, and they ordered him reinstated and said at a minimum he has to have the First Amendment rights of a citizen when he's in the legislature, and you can't punish him for exercising those rights. Okay, that was 9-0. 1965, it's possible in the ensuing 58 years or whatever, the courts have become more deferential to states. They've expressed principles of sovereign immunity and not bossing states around, but 9-zip, it just seems dead on point. And I don't see how Tennessee gets away with it. And even that aside, it's, besides the law, even politically, democratically, they just look it's just outrageous to the whole country. You saw, the people massed and protesting, and the Republican legislators, piously raising points about violating parliamentary procedure. That's obviously not what's going on. And indeed, this is what happens with minorities in legislatures that don't have power. They resort to different kinds of actions, often against the rules. Remember when the Democrats in Texas just saddled up and left town? I'm sure that was against the rules. Or remember when the Republicans during the January 6th committee just invaded the hearing rooms? All right, they may be wrong-headed. They may even be subject to some kind of sanction, but expulsion, give me a break. So this was really about their views, and it's deeply dishonest to try to claim otherwise, as the Republicans now are doing. So I think they get sued, and I think it's about the Julian Bond case. And I think, depositions ensue, and the fact question becomes, normally go behind what legislators do, but the fact question becomes, was this because of the views they expressed and their, First Amendment rights? And good luck to those Republican legislators. Just in general, it was a classic kind of bully dynamic where they were able to push these guys around, and now it got broadcast to the whole country. And it really is shades of, the nasty stuff in the South, with dogs biting at protesters' pants, and segregation now, segregation forever by, Faubus and Maddox. It's just a absolute antediluvian and really nasty look for Tennessee before the whole country. And I think they right now are trying to figure out how they can crawl back down the tree, but it might be too late because they've literally expelled 2 of these folks. So I'm sure would be reelected if there's a new election, but how are they gonna back down? Not clear. But they should lose in court. But even more than that, it's just so ugly, spiteful, completely nasty when you think of what the underlying debate is, and the absolute fecklessness of Republican majorities here and around the country to do anything about gun control. The new proposal maybe will have guards in schools. I mean, it's at a minimum to not permit democratic debate on this pressing issue that comes up again and again and again and again. I think we've had more, gun assaults this year than days of the year, more than one a year. I could be wrong about that, but it's really high up there. So the whole effort, nasty, gratuitous, unnecessary, and probably illegal and unconstitutional. And the pictures broadcast around the country were really, I think, calculated, or will really raise sympathy for the expelled, all 3 of the legislators. And they should, because it's really apparent that it's dishonest, hypocritical, just they're lying when they say, oh, we kicked them out because they didn't follow parliamentary procedure. So we will see what ensues there. I'm thinking a lawsuit in federal court in short order. It'll be an interesting one, and we'll follow it closely. Until then, talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.